Hey folks, my name is Ron Leggett. I'm a member of Real Legit Customs. I'm a pro staff member for them. Today I'm going to be showing you a recipe on how to cook hush puppies. It is one of our family's favorite things to enjoy along with a fish fry. Now, a couple of weeks ago I did a recipe on our Facebook page. It was basically how to prep walleye to smoke. It included the recipe for the dry brine that I used. When I posted that recipe, I was very surprised at how much attention that it got, how many questions people asked me in reference to, do you leave the skin on? Do you take the skin off? Do you do fillets? Do you zipper it? So I didn't do a video with that one, but I think I'm going to go back and do a step-by-step process on how I smoke fish, and that way people can maybe better understand the process and answer any of those questions that some people may not have gotten answered. I did try to go back into the comments and get everybody's questions answered, but I'm sure that I probably missed some. So this is going to be a video step-by-step process on how I cook hush puppies to go along with a fish fry. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you guys get a chance to try this recipe at home and give us feedback. Tell us, let us know what you think of this recipe, and share with us any changes you may want to make to the recipe, or what your recipe is in reference to hush puppies, or some other recipe that you guys do to help enjoy fish as you catch it, fry it, and cook it. I thought that I would make some hush puppies to go along with the fish that we're gonna have. So the first thing I like to do is I like to put green onions in my hush puppies. And I just bought these from the store. Not necessarily in the best shape, but it was the best that they had. So I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to cut off some of the bad ends here. Just like that. And the rest of this is looking okay. So I like to start off by taking the bottom off, or the root area, and then I take the leaf section there and set that off to the side, and I make a slit down the middle. Now, I am no professional when it comes to cooking or knife skills, but I do know how to make some tasty hush puppies. So I try to cut it so that it's in 4 sections, so that when you dice it, they're nice and small pieces. I find that they cook up very nice and don't leave a crispy texture on the hush puppies, but adds the flavor, which is what we are looking for. And I'll just do that. I'll do everything in quads. Come down here and cut. And continue to dice these green onions. Now, for the recipe that I use, I typically always do 3 medium to large green onions. Now, if you don't like green onions, you don't have to put them in your hush puppies. If you think that you want some more spice in your life, you could do something like jalapeno peppers, or something that adds more heat if you would like. For me and my family, green onions seems to work very well. So that's what we're looking for. Nice small pieces. And when you're dealing with the leaves, I use them. I put them right in the recipe. Depending on the size of these, I will either do them in quads, or I'll just cut them in half and then dice them like this. And I get done, I throw these all in the same bowl. I don't separate them or anything like that. Now, I did rinse these green onions before I started. I did not show that on camera, but I always typically rinse my produce when I get it from the store, or if I pick it out of my garden, just to get the dirt, bugs, any chemicals that they sprayed on it. I don't always get organic. Sometimes I do. These are not organic. Okay, so there you have it. That's one onion done. I'm going to go ahead and get the other two done up exactly like this. Put them in this container, and I'll move on to the next set of ingredients. Okay, we are back. So what I went ahead and did off camera was I mixed dry ingredients in this bowl and then wet ingredients in this bowl. Now I'm going to post the recipe or the ingredients below so that you guys don't have to copy it down as I say what's in here. But I have a half a cup of flour, 1.5 cups of cornmeal, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of salt in my dry ingredients. And what I like to do after I get them in there, just like to stir them up, get them mixed up in there before I add the wet ingredients. Once I feel like that's combined pretty well, I'll make kind of a little hole here for the wet ingredients to be poured into. I'll move this off to the side. Now some people are going to ask, you know, what cornmeal did you use? What flour did you use? I do happen to have the cornmeal that I used. Now I've used all sorts of cornmeal. It doesn't have to be this kind. This just happened to be what my store had available at the time that I bought it, and it was at a price that I wanted to pay, so I went ahead and got it. Now you may be partial to what cornmeal you want to use, and that's perfectly fine. As far as the flour, it's from Sam's Club. I have no idea what brand it is, but it works just fine. Now, for the wet ingredients, there is 1 cup of buttermilk, and make sure it is buttermilk. Don't get regular milk. So 1 cup of buttermilk and 1 egg. Now I have chickens at the house here. My wife loves the chickens, and we are thankful enough to use farm fresh eggs, but any egg that you get at the store would be fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a fork, and I am going to lightly beat that egg into the buttermilk and get it mixed. Doesn't have to be anything drastic. Don't need to get the beaters out and whip it or anything like that. And I'm going to take the green onions that we diced up. I'm going to add those into my wet ingredients. Give that a good stir. Mix that up in there. Okay, and I'm going to bring the dry ingredients back over here, and I am going to just add in the wet. Try to get as much of it out here as I can. And that's what it looks like when I'm done. Put that off to the side. Now, I hand mix with a spoon this batter. I'm not saying you have to do that. If you've got bad wrists or arthritis, or if you get sore, you know, if you've got a nice mixer, go ahead and use that. The key though is try to get all of those dry ingredients incorporated with the wet ingredients. when I get it mostly mixed, I kind of flatten it back out because there's one secret ingredient that needs to be added yet. Go ahead and push this off. Slide this out of the way. Now, the key ingredient that is added to every batch of hush puppies I make is agave. Now, you don't have to buy organic, you don't have to buy this brand, but I thought I would show it to you just in case there's any questions. You can buy agave at any store you go to. Should be fairly easy to find. Now, this ingredient I don't measure. I just squeeze a good amount in, and then this gets stirred up in there as well. And once you feel like you have that good and combined, you are going to be all set. And the beauty about this recipe is it holds up well over time. In other words, I'm not frying fish until closer to 6 o'clock tonight, and it is currently 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this spoon right in here. I'm going to take and cover this with either some aluminum foil or some plastic wrap, whatever I happen to have, and I'm going to pop it in the refrigerator, and it's going to set in there until I'm ready to pull it out and start frying some hush puppies. But if you make this up just before your fish fry, that's fine too. It's ready to go in a deep fryer and make beautiful golden brown hush puppies. So stick with us. Later on tonight I'll be putting these in the deep fryer, and I'm going to be showing you guys how they turn out. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I use a teaspoon with that batter, and I make it into maybe just a little bit bigger than ping pong size balls of dough. And I'm going to take it over here to my oil that I have at approximately 350 degrees. And I'm just going to slowly drop them in. And they're going to hit the bottom and kind of come up a little bit. And with some experience, you can do this with hopefully not getting burnt. But there's no guarantee in that. Now, keep an eye on those. They don't take very long at all. And all I do is when they start to come to the surface, like they are now, I just kind of give them a little touch, help them roll over a little bit, make sure that they get cooked evenly. And I will come back to you when I pull them out of the oil. So. And this right here is the finished product. Again, it only took a couple of minutes. You really don't want to overcook these. You will notice that there's some darker color on one side a little bit than on the other, unless you're really standing over these and turning them in the oil. That's just the way they're going to cook. So, if you guys have enjoyed this, if you do, please like our Facebook page. And you can also find us on YouTube. It's Real Legit Customs. We also have a website, reallegitcustoms.com, where you can check out our crankbaits. Thanks. Bye.